I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode number 100, The Journey from 0 to 100. Your life does not have to revolve around your husband's pornography addiction. You are not defined by his choices or by what he sees on a screen. You are not just the porn addict's wife. You are so much more. In this podcast, I'm going to teach you how to go from handling it to healed, because I've been where you are and you don't have to stay there. My name is Jolene Wynn. I'm a member of the LDS Faith, a certified life coach, and a wife of a former porn addict. And this is a podcast for the porn addict's wife. Hello, my ladies. Happy Monday. How are you guys doing? Today is a great day. Today is a celebration. Today, my little boy turns 9. My son Weston is 9 years old today. They are on spring break. So if you hear lots of kids in the background, he just opened all of his presents and he got some Legos and some history books. He is kind of a history nerd, especially about war and soldiers. And so he reads all kinds of historical stuff. That's awesome. He loves facts. He loves books like, 5001 Facts and How Things Work and things like that. He has such a great brain for that, and he finds it so interesting, and those are the kinds of books he likes to read. So he got some Legos, and he got some of that, and he got some stuff to play outside, and he got a new suitcase and some rain boots, because the practical mom in me always gives my kids things. I'm like, if they need underwear or socks or a pair of shoes and their birthday's in a couple weeks, we hold on. And I just hold on to it for a couple of weeks until their birthday, and then they get it for their birthday. So he got some rain boots, which he has sorely needed, and a suitcase. So he is very excited about it. And we don't do birthday parties because I'm lazy. So that's so much work. For all you moms out there that host birthday parties, like, props to you, but I just don't have the energy. So we don't do birthday parties, but he gets to have, we always decorate our house a little bit however they want themed. So, my one daughter, she wanted an Encanto themed party. And so we just blew up some balloons and had some, Cinco de Mayo decorations around in the kitchen. And then my other little boy, he wanted an army birthday. And so we had army balloons. And so my son Weston today, last week, he said, Mom, I want a Roman soldier birthday. And I was like, all right, well, let me see what Amazon can do. And so in case you guys are wondering, it's kind of a tricky thing to do, because unless you are in Michigan and you're a Spartan and you want everything to say Michigan, there's not a whole lot of decor that is Roman centurion. There's like Greek, and people can throw toga parties, but that has more to do with the costumes than it does with the decorations. Anyways, so we went with white and gold, and then we just got these little gold leaf like headband things to make them look like, I don't know, Caesar. Anyway, so that is how I pulled off and he's so happy, a Roman centurion birthday, which who knew? I mean, aside from getting everybody swords and shields, which were pretty awesome, and I was very tempted, only they wouldn't get here in time, there wasn't a whole lot I could do. And we're not going to be reenacting Gladiator, so this is what we could do. We did white and gold, and it's going to be the best birthday ever. We're going to play outside. He's so excited. And I'm talking to y'all because, again, as you guys can hear from my voice, I am sick once again. So didn't get this recorded last night. Here I am recording it today. Bear with me, ladies, okay, and gentlemen, the few gentlemen that I have, but bear with me for today because I don't have much of a voice, which is so apt because I'm going to talk to you guys today about the journey from 0 to 100. This is a celebration of the podcast today. I do have some announcements I'm going to do first, but I was remembering that when I first recorded the first couple episodes of my podcast, I had bronchitis and my voice sounded just like this. If you guys go listen to the first 3 or 4 episodes of the podcast again, you will hear my voice sounds exactly like it does right now. And that's not what it normally sounds like, but I recorded them anyway. And so it just is so apt that I am sick today again, because that is exactly what it was like when I started. So it's all come full circle. So here we are. Two quick things. A few quick things that I wanted to go into before we dive into the story of today. I wanted to remind my ladies and gentlemen about the men's group. Our men's group is starting on Thursday. And can I be honest with y'all? We weren't sure how this was going to go because I don't actually speak to men. I actually speak to my ladies. And so I don't have a huge audience of men that are ready to overcome their pornography addiction and, do that deep work and to move through it and to get to the other side of it. And so I wasn't sure. We set this goal of 8 men and we said, okay, that's our max is 8. Do you guys know, ladies, can I be honest with you? We have 2 signed up so far. We've had so many men that have said yes, and then they say, oh, no, maybe not, right? And that's totally normal and it's totally fine. This is not an easy thing to commit to. But I'll be honest when I say I'm like a little disappointed, but I'm still holding out hope. And so I would love to have your help, ladies. We have 6 more spots. And I was just been praying the last couple of days, and whether or not we fill those 6 spots is kind of irrelevant. But if there are more men out there right now who are ready to put this behind them once and for all, who don't want this in their life and want to move past this and to see themselves as more than the porn addict, see themselves as more than their worst mistakes, see themselves as more than who they see themselves for now, that's who we're looking for. And so, ladies, I would ask for your help. I want to ask for your help in helping, just offering it to your husband. Obviously, you can't make him get help, okay? In the same way he can't make you get help, right? But you can't make him get help. But I would love to encourage a discussion between you and your spouse, an honest conversation. And maybe it looks like both of you guys doing it together. Maybe it looks like, ladies, you come join me in coaching and he can come join Rob and I in coaching, or maybe you guys do counseling together or whatever it is. But I really want to just ask for your help in this because I think there are more guys out there who are just struggling with the courage to say yes, because it can seem like kind of a scary thing. And it seems kind of ridiculous because think like, don't you want to have this thing gone? We know you want to have this thing gone. Why not just say yes? But it's a scary thing. I mean, it's the same reason, ladies, why you don't. I actually was thinking about this the other day. So many of you say, I don't understand why my husband is so hesitant. I know he wants help. I know he just hasn't taken that final step of signing up. And I thought about this and I thought, why don't you guys look at, I want to flip this around and you guys ask yourself that same question. Why haven't you asked for help? Why haven't you signed up for coaching? Now, in our minds, ladies, I know you might think, well, I'm not the one with the addiction, okay? But obviously there's some things you're struggling with, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, right? There are things you're struggling with, but we all have our reasons, right? I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough energy, right? I'm doing fine. I think that's probably the biggest one, is that men and women both, that we all run into, is we're all in our comfort zone. Our comfort zone that includes a little bit of discomfort. And yet moving out of our comfort zone takes so much more than we think it will. It takes so much mental energy. It takes so much ability of letting go of the pleasure now, it takes so much of facing discomfort we don't want to face. And that's exactly, ladies, the reasons that come up in your mind for not signing up for coaching are probably a pretty good indication of the exact same reasons he's not signing up. And the reason that I just wanted to bring this up is to give you a little bit of insight into why he's not doing the thing you want him to do. And ladies, I want to offer, why don't you do it first? What if you showed him how it's done? What if you change your own life first? See what's possible. Show him what's possible. And then maybe he'll do it too. The truth is that none of us want to move forward because it's uncomfortable. We think we do. We say we do. We say we want to lose the weight. And yet when push comes to shove, we'd rather sit on the couch than go exercise, right? We'd rather eat Doritos than eat carrots, right? It's because of the immediate gratification. It's very difficult to overcome that immediate gratification part of your brain. This is a whole nother podcast, but I just had this thought earlier is if you want your husband to sign up so badly and you want him to get help, why don't you go first and look at your own reasons that are coming up, and that might give you an indication of what his are, and have that honest conversation. And ladies, help me out and help me find the rest of these men, because I know that there are more that are ready that just need a little bit of help to get there. Okay? If your husband is ready and wants to start, email me at coach@jolenewind.com. That way we can set up a one-on-one time that will work best for, he can get on the call with either Rob or myself, and we can get him all signed up before Thursday, because the group starts on Thursday. We're going to run it for 4 months. It's going to be amazing. We're going to do some really deep coaching. We'll have at least 1 call a week, maybe 2. And you guys, again, this is almost like one-on-one coaching, because they get 2 coaches. And right now we only have 2 guys signed up. Okay, so if they want one-on-one help, if the group aspect is something that is holding them back, this is basically one-on-one coaching. Okay, so have them sign up. Email me, coach@jolenewind.com. Okay, all right, let's dive into today. I've had too many stories for this morning. Not too many, but I want to dive into today. Today is a celebration podcast, again, which is so fitting because today is my son's birthday. So we've got balloons up all over the house. I'm in a celebratory mood, even though I don't sound like it. Okay. I was talking to Rob last night about what my idea for the podcast and what I wanted to do. And he kind of spun me in a different direction. He's like, what if you talked about where you were and how you got to where you are? Like how you got to 100 podcast episodes and the difference of what it looked like when you started. So that's what we're going to do today. You guys excited? I'm excited because there are parts of my story that you guys know. And then I think there are things that you haven't, that I don't think I've shared before. And I even want to give a little bit of advice or the things that have helped me get to where I am, so that you can apply those same things, those same concepts in your own life, so that if there's something you want to do and create, you can as well. All right, here we go. So you guys know a little bit about, I always say that I decided to become a life coach, but I want to tell you a little bit more about what that looked like. So when Rob was going through his whole healing journey, I did my own, and I started by listening to podcasts. And the first podcast that I listened to was called Better Than Happy. It's with Jody Moore. She is a life coach. She is a member of my LDS faith. And I started listening to her podcast, not for my husband's addiction, but just for life in general. A friend recommended it to me, and my sister started listening to it, and she said, this podcast is awesome. So I started listening to it, and it was great. And it just helped me so much as a mom. And then I started applying things to my own life, to my own brain outside of being a mom. And that's when that led me to the Brooke Castillo, the Life Coach School podcast with Brooke Castillo. And I started listening to that, and I fell in love with that as well. And it just made sense. Everything I was hearing on these podcasts just made sense to me. It was like, yes, this is how my brain operates. Yes, this is exactly what I needed to hear. I hadn't realized that I very naturally process my emotions. I didn't know what that was called. It's just how I thought everybody operated. I didn't realize that a lot of people don't know how to do that. And by listening to this podcast over and over and over, I began to feel the pull of wanting to become a life coach. Now, this is not something that was super out of my realm because I have a degree in sociology. I've always loved people. That's what led me to have a degree in sociology, is studying people. I love the way that people interact with one another and figuring that out. And for several years when I was having kids, my dream was to get a master's degree in marriage and family therapy. So that didn't happen. It was on the back burner while I was having kids. And then I found life coaching. And so it just kind of fit for me and for what I like. And so we looked into it, my husband and I, and it was $18,000. Now, we had just had 5 kids. My husband had been done working and out of school for maybe a year or two, for 2 years. And I had just had my 5th baby. So Dixie was a couple of months old, I think. Maybe this was a year and a half. She might have been a year old. Anyway, we did not have a whole lot of money, and we certainly didn't have $18,000. So I was like, oh no, we can't do this. There's no way. And my husband and I talked about it, and he just sat next to me while I stared at my computer upstairs in our house. And he said, you're going to do this. And I was like, okay, And he said, here's a credit card. And so we put $18,000 on a credit card, and ladies, it declined every single month for 6 months. So when you sign up for the Life Coach School, it was $18,000 at the time, and you could either pay it all up front or you could pay it over 6 months. And so we chose to pay it over 6 months, and every month for 6 months, our credit card declined. We did not have sufficient funds in order to make the payment for the credit card, but we finagled it. We figured it out. I sold some furniture in order to pay for it. I refinished furniture as kind of a side hobby business, and I refinished furniture and we made the payments, and eventually we got it paid off, and that was great. But that was how I started. We started, and I had this idea. I said, I either want to coach women who have a spouse addicted to porn, or I want to coach teenagers because I have a really soft spot for teens and what they're struggling with right now, and all the things that they go through. And so when I first started coach training rather, and this was in August of 2019, I started coach training. That was my thought. I went in with, okay, I'm either going to do teens or I'm going to do these women. And I didn't know which. And I just kind of went through it, and it made no sense at the time, ladies. Can I tell you this? At the time, in August of 2019, my husband and I were opening our brick and mortar business. I was refinishing furniture quite successfully at the time. My husband was a full-time dentist, and it made no sense for me to pay $18,000 to go become a life coach. Everyone, even my twin sister, was like, why are you doing this? Shouldn't you just be focusing on your furniture and your 5 kids and the other brick and mortar business that you're opening with your husband? Plus your husband works full time. Like, don't you have enough going on? And I just felt like, no, this is exactly what I need to be doing. I started taking clients right away. That's what we're supposed to do. I started taking clients, and I was certified as a life coach in March of 2020. And if you guys know anything about March of 2020, that is when the pandemic hit. That is when everything shut down. In the state where we live in North Carolina, all the dentist offices closed, and our museum, our children's museum, closed, and nobody was buying anything online for furniture because nobody wanted to go into anybody else's home. So all of our business ventures and all of our income suddenly zapped. And I graduated, and I certified, and I said, all right, here we go. And so when I certified, it was crazy. I started my podcast. I launched my podcast because I thought, how am I going to get to these women? There's all these women out there, these wives of porn addicts. How am I going to get to them? How am I going to reach them? Because I obviously don't know all of them. My personal influence in where I live is very small. And I thought, okay, well, I already know how to do a podcast because I'd already done a personal podcast. And so I knew how to do that. And so I said, all right, then that's what I'm going to do. And I had all the feelings of no one's going to listen to this. And how am I going to get anybody to how am I even going to get this out there? How do I broadcast this basically? And I said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And so I did. And I started it. And I started it with bronchitis. Ladies, all the reasons not to do it. And I did it anyway. And so I started my podcast, and I started creating the online course that I have today. And in the Life Coach School, they say, all right, create an online course, lead 10 women, 10 people, 10 clients through it for 6 weeks. So that's what I had to do. So then I had to find 10 women to take through this. And I'll tell you, it was one of the hardest things I ever did. I was like practically begging women to come do this for free. Let me coach you for 6 weeks for free. I just need some women to come join. I just need to lead some people through it. I just need to practice this. I just need feedback. And you will be shocked, ladies, at how many women said no. Said, nope, don't want the free help. Nope, don't want it. Nope, don't want to do it. And I was just practically begging people to do it. Led the 10 women through for 6 weeks. It was amazing. And then I officially launched my business in July of 2020. That is when I got my first paying client at my one-on-one coaching price. I felt amazing. And that's when I started coaching. So that was July of 2020. I did a whole year of coaching last year, 2021. And now I am in my second year of full year of coaching, 2022. And this is what's fascinating. And now I have so many clients, ladies, like I have just so many clients that are amazing and aligned, and I have my Lifetime Access program, and it has been a journey from one-on-one coaching to group coaching to now the model that I have now, and I'm just so excited about it. And we have tens of thousands of downloads on this podcast, hundreds of downloads every single week. And I want you guys to really hear that again, that there are hundreds of women listening to this every single week. There are tens of thousands of downloads to this podcast. And think about what that means. It means, ladies, that you're not alone. Okay? It means that you're not by yourself. It means that there are so many women out there just like you who are in the same situation that you're in and want more and want to progress and don't want to be the porn addict's wife, and they want to see themselves as more than that, and they're here with you. And I want you guys to imagine that every time you listen to this podcast, because that's what I think of when I sit down to record this podcast. I mean, I'm in my used to be guest room that we've converted into my office, and my kids are on the other side of the door. Usually they're asleep. I'm by myself, and all I can think about, ladies, is you. All the faces, all the clients that I've had, those faces that show up every week on our coaching calls, everyone that's ever come to a free coaching call or to Coach Week, all of you ladies, everyone that's ever signed up for a consultation call that I've gotten on the phone with, every email I've gotten, an Instagram message. That is who I think of. I think of all of you. And it makes me so excited to show up here every single week. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about right now, is I want to share with you guys a little bit of a few of the things, the concepts that I have implemented to get from 0 to 100. So that you can think about, I want you guys to think about some result that you want in your life. It may not be a successful podcast, it may not be a successful life coaching business, but what is the result you want in your life? Most of you listening to this podcast, the result you want is you want confidence in dealing with your husband's addiction, right? That's the result you want. You want a better marriage. You want pornography to stop being in between you. Now, your brain thinks that the way that pornography stops being in between you is for him to stop watching it. But as you guys know, if you've listened for more than a minute, that is not the solution, okay? And if that is the result if you want your husband's pornography addiction to stop getting in between you, then I want you to think about how you can create that result yourself. Okay. And I want you to start applying maybe some of these tools that I'm going to talk about so that you can create it. Okay. Number 1 is B- work. This is a concept I learned from the Life Coach School and from Jody Moore, because she learned it from the Life Coach School as well. Ladies, I am not a perfectionist. So the concept of B- work is phenomenal to me. I resonate with it very well. What this means is that you're willing to show up and do the amount of work and have it be B- and know that that's okay. What happens with most of us is that we think we want A+ work. We want perfectionism. We want everything to be aligned exactly correct. We want to do it correctly, and we want to know that we're doing it correctly. The problem is when you want everything done exactly right, when you want it done perfectly, what ends up happening is you spend so much time trying to get it perfect that you never actually produce anything. We spend so much time in our lives preventing ourselves from moving forward because we are demanding perfectionism of ourselves. We're demanding that we do it right, that we get it right, that we have the perfect house, the perfect motherhood skills, the perfect car, the perfect body, the perfect whatever it is we think we need to have. And that prevents us from actually producing anything because we're trying so hard to get it right that we fixate on one thing and never actually complete it. The thing that's enabled me to show up every single week and produce a podcast that's in like the top 10% of podcasts is the ability to sit down and produce B- work and know that that is better than not doing anything at all. I could spend 5 hours a week producing a podcast for y'all, and it could be A work, but I don't, because I know that B- work is what's going to get it done. B- work is what's going to produce that podcast every single week. Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's not that I'm giving you guys less than, because you guys know that this content is amazing. but it's about being willing to get it out there, even if you know it could be better, right? There's so much in our lives that we beat ourselves up for, saying, oh, that could have been better. I should have done this. I should have done that. And it's irrelevant, okay? None of that is useful in getting us where we want to go. If you had somewhere you wanted to go today and you knew that B- work was going to get you there, you would do it. But so many of us spend so much of our time and our energy focused on trying to get that A+, trying to make it perfect. And the problem with perfection is it's just an idea in our minds. And if we believe that we're incapable of perfection, then we'll never achieve it and we'll never produce anything, which means we stay exactly where we are. Do you guys see that? The problem with perfectionism is that you are defining what perfect is in your own brain. And as long as you're the one that's doing that and you believe that you can't ever get there, if you believe you're not perfect, then you'll never get there, which means you'll never actually hit those goals and you'll never produce anything. If you want to move forward, ladies, I want to encourage you to be okay with B- work and to know that B- work is actually amazing. My B- work is way better than most of you on this podcast, okay? And that's okay. And I know that, so I'm okay with knowing that my B- work is exactly what you need to hear. And that's what's going to help move you forward because it's actually going to produce something rather than keep you stuck, okay? I swear, ladies, try it. B- work is going to get you so far. The second thing that I want to bring up is consistency. Most of us think that in order to produce something like an amazing, successful podcast, what we need is like one giant leap forward, right? We think we need, it's one of the things with weight loss too, right? If we want to lose weight, we think that the thing that's going to help us lose weight is the diet. All right, let me find the meal plan, the secret. Let me find the thing, the 30-day thing that's going to drop 30 pounds initially, and that's what I need, a kickstart, right? It's a lie. The thing that's going to get you where you want to go is consistency. It's showing up every single week, every single Sunday night, every single week, recording a podcast for you, preparing and recording a podcast every single week. It's not about batch recording 100 episodes and then putting it out there. It's showing up every single week, knowing that that consistently showing up for y'all is what's going to have you guys know that I'm there every Monday with a brand new podcast episode. That's what's going to enable you guys to trust me, to know that I'm here every single week with more content for you. Right? Consistency is what grows. That's what creates change. It's showing up every single day to exercise, even when you don't want to. It's showing up every single day, making one better choice than the day before. It's giving 1% better every single day. It's consistently showing up better. That's what creates the change. Okay? So if you've been waiting for, earthquakes and for this life-shattering event to create this catalyst that blows you forward, I'm here to burst your bubble because that's not going to happen. What's going to change you is listening every single week, doing something every single day, consistently showing up for yourself. That is what's going to create the change that you want in your life. And that's really the best news ever because these little choices that are added up over time, that is what makes the change you want in your life. That is what creates the result that you're thinking about, right? You are one decision away from the life of your dreams. You make it today, and then you make it again tomorrow. That's what changes things. The third thing that I want to offer is that if you invest in your learning and your personal expansion, you keep expanding. This is what I've learned we've actually done over 100 episodes because of all the bonus episodes. There's like 120 podcast episodes, but this is the 100th weekly episode, right? And that's one of the things that I've learned. I have so many people that ask me all the time, how do you come up with content every single week? Aren't you worried that you're going to run out of material? No, I'm not. And here's why. Okay. I never run out of podcast topics because I am constantly open to growth. Okay. I am getting coached. I am learning from my clients, watching my brain for how to grow. It's all in personal development. Think about personal development, ladies. Personal development never ends, right? It's not like people reach a point where they're done and they're like, oh, I'm totally developed. I'm like completely expanded into who I want to be and I have nothing else to learn. That doesn't exist. That doesn't happen for people, right? People don't reach the point where they're done. You continue to grow. And once you open your brain to expansion, the possibilities of expansion are endless. So fascinating. You only improve if you have the mindset to keep improving. Hear that again. You only improve if you have the mindset to keep improving. Your life, ladies, is only expanding if you want to think of it that way. If you feel like you're not expanding, ladies, if you feel like you're stuck, I want to recommend that you join coaching because that is the solution. The solution to being stuck is expansion. It's moving forward, right? You have to practice expanding your mind. You have to practice personal growth and personal development over and over. Dedicate the time to do it. That's what I think I've really learned over this podcast is that I don't run out of things to say because what I am sharing is growth. What I'm sharing is everything that I'm learning. So as long as I'm open to learning, I will always have things to share. I will always have new things to teach you. And I am 100% dedicated to always learning because I want more. I want growth. I want expansion. I want self-improvement. I don't want to be tomorrow the day I am today. I want to be better. My whole goal in life is to become the best version of myself, and that requires growth. That requires dedication to looking at myself, being aware of where I am and open to changing it. That's where growth comes. That comes from facing the discomfort, from becoming aware of myself, of my brain, of the things that are keeping me where I am and getting past them, blowing them out of the water so that I can become the person that I know I can be, or even better. I heard Brooke Castillo say on a podcast recently, she said, if on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your life? And she was like, most people say like a 7 or 8. She said, what if what you think is a 7 or 8 is only a 2? Ladies, that blew my mind. What if the life that I think is a 10 right now is only a 2? How can it get better? How can I get better? How can I expand and create my life into something even better? Ladies, what if the life that you're living right now, however you rated it on a scale of 0 to 10, what if it's only a 1 or a 2? And if you rated it a 1 or a 2, why are you staying there? Ladies, come coach with me. This is how we blow it up. This is how we get you from where you are to where you want to be. This is how we go from staying stuck to expanding exponentially and indefinitely, which is what I'm doing. Because you're willing to look at yourself and know that the only limitations you have are the ones you place on yourself. Say that again, ladies. Listen again. The only limitations you have are the ones you place on yourself. So if you don't want to have those limitations anymore, the only person that's standing in between you and where you want to go is yourself. The only one stopping you is you. So if you want to move forward, ladies, let's freaking go. You can move forward. I have complete confidence in what I'm doing. I know my purpose. I may not have started out 100% knowing that I wanted to coach. I was kind of dilly-dallying. I was wishy-washy. I was like, maybe I want to coach teens. No, I want to coach you, ladies, and I want to help you have the very best life that you possibly can. Because if you don't want the best life for yourself, what's the point? Ladies, we only get one life. Why not make it amazing? Why not make it everything you've ever wanted? Why not let it be the thing that is the best thing that you create? There are women out there right now waiting for this. I know it. It is my responsibility and my honor to show up every single week for them, for you, and to show up on every single call for my clients. I am here for you, ladies, and I am just getting started. I love you, ladies, so much. I'll talk to you next week. Take care. All right, ladies, if you are loving what you are learning on the podcast, I want to invite you to come join my coaching program. This is where we take it to the next level and we actually start applying and learning the how of moving forward. This podcast has taught you the what, and the coaching program is where you're going to learn the how. This is where you learn how to actually start moving forward, process all of that pain that you feel, and let it go once and for all. If you are ready to finally move forward and stop living a life that revolves around your husband's pornography addiction, then I want to invite you to come join me today. Just head to my website, jolenenguyen.com, and sign up today. I can't wait to see you there.